Yuya and Yuto versus Ruri and Serena. Today is a spicy duel, as it ends in one of my personal favourite overkills in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. For context, Yuya is dueling against the mind-controlled fusion and Xyz counterparts of his universe's best friend and love interest, Yuzu. Inside of Yuya is Yuto, the Xyz counterpart of himself, and also Ruri's boyfriend. There's a lot of spinning plates in this duel, so if that isn't investment enough, get this as well. Yuya, under intense emotional pressure, is capable of being consumed by his original combined malevolent self, Zark. Yuya is a nice guy. He just wants people to smile. However, throughout this duel, he's going to get pushed to his absolute breaking point. And we are going to watch that whole thing unfold. And if there's time, maybe we'll take a look and see if there are any mistakes in this duel, any better plays, basically anything that could have changed the outcome of the duel. Without further ado, let's jump into the duel. The action duel begins and Yuya goes first. However, as the duel begins, Yuya's Performer Pal deck transforms into Yuto's Phantom Knight deck. The reason for this is Yuto's will to save Ruri. The hope is that her seeing some familiar cards might stir up some old memories and be able to unbrainwash her back into normality. Anyway, Yuya's opening hand consists of 2 copies of Phantom Knight's Lost Vambrace, Phantom Knight's Double Badge, Rank Up Magic Burial Phantom Knights, and Phantom Knights Around Burn. Yuya sets 2 copies of the trap's Phantom Knight's Lost Vambrace face down, along with his quick play spell, Phantom Knight's Double Badge, and simply ends his turn here. It's Ruri's turn, and she draws. Her opening hand consists of Lyrilisk Turquoise Warbler, Lyrilisk Sapphire Swallow, Parasite Discharge, Double Parasitic Rebirth, Parasitic Maneuver, and Parasite Generator. You've probably all noticed this, but the Parasite engine in her and Serena's deck we're going to see, those have been added due to the Doctor, the person that is mind controlling all of the girls. Just a little bit of context of why they're in there. Since neither player has any monsters on their field, Ruri is able to special summon her Turquoise Warbler straight to the field. Due to its effect, when it is special summoned, it can now special summon another Lyrilisk monster from her hand or grave. She summons Sapphire Swallow. With 2 level 1 monsters on the field, Ruri overlays them both to Xyz summon her rank 1 Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale. Nightingale's effect allows it to gain 100 attack for each material attached to it. Since there are 2, it gains 200 attack. Ruri follows this play by activating her spell, Parasite Discharge. With it, she can special summon a Fusion Parasite monster from her deck. As it is summoned, its effect activates, which lets it immediately fuse with another monster in her hand or on the field. And since Fusion Parasite can substitute itself for any fusion material, she combines it, acting as a Lyrilisk monster, along with Assembled Nightingale in order to make Lyrilisk Independent Nightingale. Now, since Independent Nightingale was special summoned, its effect activates. Its level raises by the number of materials that were attached to Assembled Nightingale for its summon. Since there were 2, its level is increased to 3. Nightingale's second effect then activates. Its attack is increased for each of its levels. But we're still not done there. The Fusion Parasite that was just sent to the graveyard's effect kicks in. Since it was used for a fusion summon, it equips itself to the summoned monster. Now, whilst equipped to Nightingale, if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, this card can be destroyed in its place instead. Ruri, now moving on to the offensive, activates Nightingale's final effect, which lets her deal 500 burn damage for every level that this monster has. Since this monster's level is 3, Yuya takes 1500 damage, and the first damage of the duel. Ruri then moves into her battle phase. She attacks Yuya directly. However, Yuya activates his 2 identical set traps, Phantom Knight's Lost Vambrace. Each of these targets Nightingale. Now, until the end of the turn, while that chosen monster remains on the field, Phantom Knight monsters can't be destroyed by battle this turn, and the chosen monster loses 600 attack. Since 2 are activated, Nightingale loses 1200 attack. Following this, both these traps summon themselves as monsters in attack position. Despite everything that happened, Nightingale is still able to attack, and attacks one of the Phantom Knight monsters. Though it isn't destroyed, Yuya still takes the damage. However, this is revealed to be a good thing, as now since Yuya has taken battle damage, he can activate his final set card, his quick play spell, Phantom Knight's Double Badge. Due to its effect, after taking damage, Yuya can overlay 2 monsters on his side of the field and immediately Xyz summon. With 2 level 2 monsters, he Xyz summons his rank 2 Phantom Knight's Cursed Javelin. Yuya activates its quick effect by detaching 1 material. It negates the effect of an opponent's monster permanently and reduces its attack to 0. Now, it's worth noting that Yuya technically didn't need to do this play right now. There was no rush to negate the opponent's monster's effect or to reduce its attack down to 0. So why did he do it now? Well, the only way it makes sense is if someone was to interrupt the duel and jump in before his turn could happen, or else he wouldn't be able to get the monster out unless he got attacked again. Oh wait, what's that? That's about to happen? Never mind then. Out of nowhere, a mind-controlled Serena appears and inserts herself into the duel. Doing so costs her 2,000 life points, as she has to pay an intrusion penalty. However, with that, it is now Serena's turn, meaning Yuya has to wait another turn before his turn. And this is where I have to jump in and say this is extremely abusable system right here. There's no limit to how many people can jump into a duel. We find that out in the big battle royale thing against Zark at the end of the series. If I was the Doctor, what I would have done is, after Serena has her go against Yuya, why not get Rin involved, the synchro counterpart of Yuzu? Get her to jump in before Yuya's turn as well, pay 2,000 life points, draw 6 cards, pop off, and let's just say he wouldn't. Yuya survives that turn as well. Let's do some real emotional damage to Yuya. Let's get Yuzu involved, get her involved in the duel before Yuya can have his turn, pay 2,000 life points, draw 6 cards, do his turn. Fun fact, you're allowed to attack even though it's your first turn in the duel, whatever, and you can just beat Yuya. This is a very broken system in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 series. It needed more rules, like you pay 2,000 life points, you can't attack the turn, this happens, your opponent gets to draw like an additional card or something, I don't know, but it's kind of busted, not gonna lie. So the moral of the story is, the Doctor, if you really wanted to win this duel, you were willing to cheat in a myriad of different ways, but you wouldn't overwhelm your opponent with this broken mechanic, so misplay to you. Anyway, it's Serena's turn, and she draws. Her opening hand consists of Parasite Fusioner, Parasite Plant, Power Parasite, and 3 mysterious cards. These cards will never be seen or used, however I'm going to speculate and say that they are her Lunar Light cards, and she just kind of bricked with what she had. So, if I had to guess, I would say these 3 cards are Lunar Light Eclipse, Lunar Light Perfume, and Lunar Light Fusion. Serena starts by normal summoning her Parasite Fusioner. She activates her continuous spell, Parasite Plant, which lets her fuse Parasite Fusioner with any other monster on the field attached with another Parasite Fusioner. And so she sends Parasite Fusioner, along with Independent Nightingale equipped with Parasite Fusioner, to the grave in order to summon Parasite Queen. You've probably noticed this already. I am gonna say Parasite a lot today. Due to the second effect of Parasite Plant, all Parasite Fusioners in the grave are equipped to the summoned fusion monster, Parasite Queen. And while Parasite Plant remains face up on the field, all monsters gain 300 attack for each one equipped to it. And that's not all. Monsters equipped with parasites are now immune to all opponents' monsters' effects. And sadly, unbeknownst to Yuya, he makes a misplay. He activates Cursed Javelin's effect by detaching its last material, attempting to negate and weaken Parasite Queen. However, as we've just learned, it's unaffected by monster effects, and so the effect fails. Now, I know this is a running theme in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's speculated that Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters just can't check what the opponent's cards do. It makes sense thematically because you don't know until it happens. Oh, that card's gonna do that. I want to tap that. Where's the surprise? Something cool about Arc 5 is we actually get to see their dual disc displays a few times, and from what I can tell, it does look like you're unable to view any of your opponent's cards. So I'm going to say this is confirmation that you do not know opponents' monsters' effects unless you have prior knowledge. They tell you or you just find out the hard way. So, no misplay for Yuya for attempting this. Not that it would matter, because Serena enters her battle phase and uses Parasite Queen to attack Cursed Javelin and destroy it. Serena ends her turn by setting Power Parasite face down. And it is here where the first out-of-duel shenanigans begins. Serena reveals herself, Ruri, Rin, and Yuya's precious Yuzu have all been infected with mind-controlling parasites. Yuya does not take this information well, and when they start laughing at his suffering, well, he snaps back.
なんて顔をしているの? 喜ばしいことだわ。ゆずはもうお前の元には戻らない。よくもゆずを。
Again, I just want to point out, this character right here is being pushed to act like this character here. However, luckily, before things can go too far, Yuto synergizes with Yuya. His will of vengeance becomes his own, and he manifests himself physically in the duel, and as such, takes over for the next turn. And so, Yuto draws and gets Phantom Knight's Wrong Magnet Ring. Yuto starts by activating his spell, Rank Up Magic Burial Phantom Knights. Now he can bring back one Phantom Knights Xyz monster in his grave, and when he does, he can immediately overlay both it and this card to Xyz summon a new monster that is 2 ranks higher. Since Cursed Javelin is a rank 2, Yuto summons his rank 4 ace monster, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Yuto immediately begins to parkour. Why? Well, that's because this is an action duel. I think I did mention that earlier. If you don't know, an action duel means there are hidden cards across the arena. Players can run about and pick them up to get a variety of different effects. Some beneficial, some detrimental. You won't know until you pick them up. I'm gonna keep things quite brief here, but my opinion on action cards are they're quite Deus Ex Machina. If there's a problem in the duel, a no way out situation, oh no, the main character's about to lose. Oh look, an action card, the perfect card to keep me in this duel. It's just right here. The moral of this is without these cards, yes, Yuya and Yuto probably would have lost this duel. But at the same time, Serena and Ruri never take advantage of this action card system, so that kind of costs them the duel in a way. It makes my job a living nightmare because I don't know what action cards are available at the time, but it's a part of the in-universe mechanics, so it's absolutely fine. He finds the action card Single Destruction. With its effect, if the opponent controls exactly one monster, it is destroyed. However, Serena is able to prevent the destruction by destroying the parasite equipped to the monster instead. And now, since there is one less parasite on it, its attack is reduced. Unfortunately, since Yuto can't use Dark Rebellion's effect to halve the opponent's attack and add it to his own, since the opponent is immune to monster effects, he instead moves to his battle phase and attacks Parasite Queen. As he does, Serena activates the final effect of Parasite Queen, which lets her equip a parasite onto an opponent's monster. When this happens, they lose 800 attack. But Serena is not done. She activates her set, Power Parasite. Now she can choose one monster she controls and equip it with a Parasite Fusioner in her grave. The equipped monster will then gain an additional 300 attack. However, since Parasite Queen has gained another Parasite Fusioner anyway, its attack raises by an additional 300 too. Fearing the destruction of his ace monster, Yuto activates his quick play spell, Phantom Knights Around Burn. This card can only be activated in the battle phase. By banishing 2 Phantom Knights in the grave, you can destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, and then end the battle phase. Both Serena and Yuto activate the effects of the fusion parasites equipped to their monsters. Both fusion parasites are destroyed, and Rebellion and Parasite Queen remain on the field. The battle phase ends. Quick thinking by Yuto, he too could benefit from Fusion Parasite's protection ability. Good play. As soon as the battle phase ends, Around Burn's effect activates, which deals 800 damage to both players for every monster that was sent to the graveyard during that battle phase. Since both the parasites were owned by Serena and Ruri, they are the ones to take the damage. Yuto sets Phantom Knight's Wrong Magnet Ring face down and ends his turn. It's back to Ruri, and the anti-penultimate turn of the duel. She draws and gets her own Parasite Plant. She activates it, equipping a Parasite Fusioner from her deck to Serena's Parasite Queen. However, when she does this, the second effect activates, which lets her move Parasite Queen to her side of the field. Basically, this is how Ruri and Serena are going to share Parasite Queen. With this effect, whenever they equip a card to it, they can pull it to their side of the field, and they're going to keep doing this until the end of the duel. Ruri activates Double Parasitic Rebirth. With it, she can equip one monster on the field with 2 Parasite Fusioners in either player's grave. She equips one from hers and one from Serena's to Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. She moves into her battle phase and uses Parasite Queen to attack Dark Rebellion. However, before the attack can connect, Yuto parkours and finds the action card Evasion. With its effect, it lets him negate an attack. Parasite Queen's attack is negated. However, Ruri follows this up by activating her quick play Parasitic Maneuver, which lets a Parasite monster attack twice this turn. Parasite Queen attacks Dark Rebellion again. However, yet again, Yuto parkours, and this time finds the action card Miracle, which lets him prevent his monster from being destroyed by battle and also halving any battle damage he would take. Dark Rebellion isn't destroyed, however the force of the attack causes Yuto to fall unconscious. With only 100 life points left, Yuya retakes control of the duel. Ruri sets Parasite Generator face down and ends her turn. Fun fact, if you were wondering why Yuto didn't use his face down trap, the Phantom Knights of Wrong Magnet Ring, whose effect is it pulls all equip spells on the field onto itself, well, he needs to have a card in his hand that has the same name as a card in his graveyard. And since that isn't the case, he couldn't use it here. Just in case you was wondering that, by the way. Now, it's Serena's turn, and the penultimate turn of the duel. She draws and gets Parasite Magic. She starts by activating the effect of her Parasite Plant, equipping another Parasite Fusioner from her deck to Parasite Queen, and by doing so, moving it back under her control. Fearing the incoming attack, Yuya parkours in the search for an action card to save him. Serena tries to match him in speed and grab it before he can. However, she wasn't fast enough, and Yuya takes a second copy of the action card, Miracle. Now, while this card is unable to save him in this battle, since it would halve the damage and he's only got 100 life points left, he now has a Miracle in his graveyard, a Miracle in his hand, and a Magnet Ring face down that requires this criteria. However, before we can celebrate, Serena notices that the Doctor was able to sneak a Parasite into Yuya's ear. The Doctor mind controls Yuya and causes him to collapse, seemingly ending the duel with Yuya unconscious. However, a malevolent force consumes the parasite in Yuya's brain. Yuya reawakens in a berserker state. The atmosphere and music become tense. However, Yuya snaps back to his senses. Hesitating for a moment after what she just witnessed, Serena attacks Dark Rebellion with Parasite Queen. Yuya activates his Phantom Knight's Wrong Magnet Ring. With it, when he is attacked, he can discard a card with the same name as a card in the grave, and by doing so, he can negate the attack, and then special summon Wrong Magnet Ring to the field as a monster. Annoyed, Serena sets her Parasite Magic face down and ends her turn. Now it's Yuya's turn, and the final turn of the duel. He draws and gets his ace monster, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Yuya activates the quick effect of Wrong Magnet Ring. It equips every equip card on the field to itself. With all 4 parasites equipped to this card, the second effect of Magnet Ring then allows Yuya to send itself and the cards equipped to it to the grave to draw 1 card for every 2 equip spells that were attached to it. Since there were 4, Yuya draws 2 new cards. He gets his own Odd Eyes Excel and Yuto's Phantom Knight's Possession. Since 4 fusion parasites have left the field, Parasite Queen's attack is reduced. Yuya activates his Odd Eyes Excel so that he can summon an Odd Eyes monster without a sacrifice. He summons Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon to the field. Here, Serena plays her set Parasite Magic. With it, she can activate a magic card in the opponent's graveyard as if it were her own. She chooses to activate Ruri's Parasite Discharge. Due to its effect, she can special summon a new Parasite Fusioner from her own deck. Following this, Ruri activates her set trap, Parasite Generator. Since a Parasite was summoned, now for as long as this card remains face up on the field, Parasite monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, all fusion Parasites on the field are treated as if there are 2 of them. And that's not all. The final effect of Parasite Generator lets Serena special summon 1 fusion Parasite from her deck. And when she does, all fusion Parasites in the grave are summoned to the field. The cost to use this is that at the end of the turn, all the Parasites summoned this way are shuffled back into the deck. And so, with Ruri and Serena both having 3 copies of their own Parasites on the field, and each one being classed as 2, there are now 12 Parasites on the field. Parasite Queen's attack rises exponentially. Everything seems like it's going very well for the girls. However, this is where the Doctor makes a huge mistake. He reveals the mind-controlled Yuzu and wipes his filthy old man hands all over her face. And it is right here where Yuya snaps. Everyone knows something bad is coming. Even the Parasite monsters themselves begin to back away. Yuya and Yuto become consumed by Za. As if in a perfect rage-fueled synchronicity, they activate together Phantom Knight's Possession. This lets them treat an Xyz monster as the level of a monster on the field. They make it so that Odd Eyes and Dark Rebellion are both classed as level 7 monsters. And so, with 2 level 7 dragon-type monsters on the field, Yuya and Yuto Xyz summon the rank 7 dragon with dual-coloured eyes. Odd Eyes Raging Dragon. This monster is the embodiment of Yuto and Yuya's rage. Yuya activates the effect of Raging Dragon. By detaching all of its overlay units, it negates the effects of every spell and trap on the field, and then destroys everything other than itself. Due to this play, the fusion Parasites can't use their effects to prevent the destruction, and so the entire field is eviscerated. Odd Eyes Raging Dragon then gains 200 attack for each card that was destroyed via its effect. While shocked at this play, Ruri says that, well, good for you and all, however, you only have 1 monster, and next turn, one of us will survive, and with only 100 life points left, that person is going to defeat you. However, this is where Yuya and Yuto reveal there will be no next turn. Odd Eyes Raging Dragon is revealed to be able to attack twice per turn, and so, with an inhuman amount of force, Yuya attacks Serena and Ruri directly. Both are defeated, and the sheer force of the attack is so powerful it blows a hole in the wall behind them. Ruri and Serena lay unconscious on the ground. And keep in mind that at the end of the day, they weren't in control of their actions. Yuya and Yuto win the duel. I really love this duel. The music, the voice acting, the whole thing. I think in the Japanese, it's like one of the best duels in the entire series. I don't know, that might just be me, but I really like it. Honestly, I thought it was a shame that Serena never got to play any of her Lunar Light cards in this duel. Conversely, with Ruri and the Lyrilisk archetype, they too have some really powerful Xyz monsters. However, I don't think they were available yet in the anime. So a couple cards you can go into. Plus they have some different effects in the anime. They're not as strong as some of the ones in the real world. So it's hard to say if those two could have played any differently. And as for Yuto and Yuya, I think they did the same as well. The cards that they had, they used it in a perfect way. Sometimes able to predict what the future was about to hold with that one Phantom Knight summoned during the opponent's turn. We'll allow that, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, if you would like to know the true rules of action duels, if you want to have a bit more context to this duel, I'll leave a pinned comment down below and you'll see it on screen now. But other than that, thank you all for watching. Catch you later.